Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fumbling Gurus, a podcast that covers the NFL. And now, your hosts, John, Tom, and Gannon.
Welcome back, everyone. Uh, we have quite a bit to talk about this week. I probably won't be doing much talking. I don't think we want to spend the entire podcast on the Bucks and the fact that we only scored a single field goal against one of the worst, if probably the worst team in the league statistically. Um, Aside from that, I think this week, like if you had to define this week, it is like stunners. Just there's been people benched that we never would have thought benched. The Jets are on a roll and then lose their best running back. Giants continue to win. Bucks lose to Panthers. We have a rookie running back kind of made a breakout. So I say we just jump into it, talk about some of the craziness that happened this week. Head into next week. The Eagles are finally back. Maybe we'll see first loss of the season. I don't know. We'll get into it though as we jump in here. Um, so I guess we'll just get it over with and get the Bucks out of the way. I mean, we I still don't even understand what happened. For
I have an
those,
idea.
uh, take it away, please. I'm tired of discussing this.
I think Mike Evans was more infatuated with giving a autograph to the official than he was catching a touchdown pass.
Dude, he like we've talked about this almost every week. How he just catches, he can catch anything, and then this week no one could catch anything on the Bucks. There was two or three passes that I'd get. They're tougher catches, but he was just not making. He was dropping everything. There was a pass in the first. I think it was like the first drive. I know it was in the first quarter. Um, it was like a 70-yard pass. It was a clear touchdown. The defender had fallen. He was breaking away. Pass was perfect, right in his hands, and he drops it. And it was one of those like defining moments for the game. I felt like as soon as he dropped that, the game was over. We couldn't do anything else. We were pretty much it set the tone for the entire game.
Something you're going to hear me say a couple times in this podcast is good teams find ways to win games, and a win is a win is a win. Bad teams find way to lose games. Right now, remember last week we did this little bit that was kind of fun, pretender contender. And Gannon, I asked him about the Bucks, and I said, "Are they a pretender or a contender?" And he's like, "They're not quite a pretender, but they're certainly not a contender. They're like right on the cusp." I think it's safe to say the Bucks are a pretender right now. I'm not saying they may not fix it or turn it around, but this team is not good. Their offense is predictable. They run the ball on first down and they run the ball on first down. They're one of the worst running teams in the league. Brady has played all right, but he's not played at the level that fans are used to seeing. Receivers have let him down. The defense that used to be unstoppable, you couldn't run on them, was giving up chunk yardage to a team that just traded their best player. A matter of fact, traded their one of their best receivers and their best
Yeah,
running back.
yeah, two of their best players.
I I, I sat there. They were starting the four string quarterback who was in the XFL, and yet the Bucks were they were just bad.
To
And
to
this is coming off a Pittsburgh Steelers loss and also a win against the Falcons that they were going to probably lose that game if the officials don't bail out the Bucks offense. And that's coming on the cusp of a two-game losing streak prior. They have lost four of their last five games. Tom, you're the Bucks fan. You're the expert here. Is Todd Bowles' seat getting hot? And I'm not I'm not trying to like take over here. I just had questions, man. I watched that game and I was just disappointed for Bucks fans.
I
I wasn't
mean,
disappointed.
yeah, I mean you look at last year compared to this year. What changed? We're missing Gronk on offense. Okay, it's a big loss, but we still have a lot of weapons. The defense didn't change too much. The injuries are coming back. We're starting to get our full lineup. and it's not meshing. So it's what you start asking, what's the problem? Like, why can we not get things in motion? And I don't know. Is it the coach? Is it coaches? Because at this point, you kind of have to look that way. You have arguably the best quarterback in history. You have great wide receivers. You have great running backs, or at least a great running back. You have a defense that was number two, number one overall last season, and you have a losing record. I don't know. Where do you go from like? This is what I was saying last year. I think we went into it like I, I don't know. When do you bench Brady? When do you start making drastic decisions? We're not winning games. Brady's not winning us the game here. So Matt Ryan just got benched and he's arguably playing better than Brady is. This is
I,
how mad I am at how the Bucks are doing.
I will say, okay, so everyone knows that I have a hatred for Brady. I do not sit there and try to say anything other than I cannot stand that guy as a player. I don't think the Bucks are losing because of him. He's played good enough. Is he playing at the level that Bucks fans saw last year or the year prior? No. But he's not playing poorly. I mean, Mike Evans, that was a perfect pass, 70 something yards. I mean, that was an easy touchdown, and Evans just drops it. Yes, Brady's been a little inaccurate, but the run game is not Brady's fault. The offensive line being not great isn't Brady's fault. The defense giving up, what was it, 160, 170 yards on the ground? That's not Brady's fault. I, I mean, you sit there and you start to go, and it almost sounds like oh, what am I doing? I almost sound like I'm defending the guy. But I don't think that the Bucks, they're still number one in their division, the NFC South. I don't think it's time to panic quite yet, Bucks fans.
We're you're saying we're still number one. To be fair, we have a tiebreaker, and that's what's putting us. We are within one game of every team in the division. And let me remind you, it is the Saints, Carolina, and the Falcons. We're all within one game of each other.
You're in first. Look, we saw an 8-8 Giants team win a Super Bowl, right? Like you make the playoffs and you hope that you have your team fixed.
I,
My
I
my aunt,
I will say, and I think maybe this goes back to the coaches, that Brady is he sees the game differently and he knows what should happen, and what should happen is not happening. There are certain plays, and they pointed it out during the game, where the receivers were stopping on their routes and they should have kept going. And Brady's throwing where they should be based on the play call and everything else, and it's just not happening. So again, is it a coaching thing? Is it? And I think Brady normally is a lot more invested. I feel like in previous years, you always saw him making some of the calls, getting ahead of some of the plays, whatever. And I don't know. I don't see that this year. I feel like he's kind of taking the back seat and just letting it happen. I don't know. Gannon,
so
I want to
I'm
give Gannon. No, John, you've had your piece.
well, I was gonna say I actually came curious what Gannon's thoughts were
There we
because
go.
he's the
So,
outsider.
okay, hear me out. Okay, how about it's not the team's fault at all? It's his wife put a curse on him because she was rubbing two stones together and then it's like, bam, bad juju, Buccaneers. I mean, how else would you describe him? Or he lost to an XFL quarterback? In what reality? What reality would you be like, oh yeah, I don't know. That's my thoughts. I don't have any. I don't have any explanation. I really don't. That's weird. I mean, you're fire selling the entire Panthers team. You have not a good QB against a Bucks team that's pretty good. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you could chalk it up to division rivals, but at that point, I don't know if I would. I think that was, I mean, everybody is entitled to a bad game, but I mean, we've had two, two so far, three.
Uh, yeah, I don't know. I think like we've all had. I think we're all saying the same thing, and I think the Bucks just need to figure out their way forward. I don't think we're losing to the teams we're playing. We're beating ourselves at this point, and we need to get out of our own way and figure out how to win games. Will it be in time and have enough time left to be able to get things together? Probably, but I still don't foresee this being a great season or anything at the end of it. But I don't know. You never know. We're in, the fact that we're playing this bad and still number one in the division gives us a little bit of leeway to kind of find our way. But if we were in Gannon's division over there, we'd be toast already.
I mean, your saving grace is you don't have the Bucks don't have super hard of a team or a schedule
Hmm.
coming up. So you get the Browns. I mean, the Cardinals. You could probably come back against the Falcons. I mean, I'm not guaranteeing that, but like maybe a second time you play them, maybe you beat them.
uh,
Saints, can lightning strike twice? I don't know.
don't even talk about Saints. No. All right. Well, we spent some time on
Uh,
us. Clearly, things that need to be worked out and items that we need to work our way through there. Another team in the same boat, possibly almost same position, the Packers. They are the same record as the Bucks, not doing very well. Can't get going. They lost to Washington this last week. Um, where do we see Aaron Rodgers? Is I think when you look at the Bucks, I think there is a path forward for the Bucks. The Packers, I think it's a little less straightforward, and like they don't have necessarily the weapons on offense. They have the quarterback, they have some running backs, wide receivers a little bit, not as great as the Buccaneers. The defense, I don't think can be on par with the Buccaneers in terms of what their potential can be. Um, but I mean, Gannon, where do you see the Packers ending? Are they gonna break this streak they're on? Are they gonna start playing better? What do you see at the end of the season for them?
I Defense wins games. I don't think their defense is very good. I don't think their offense is very good. I think their shining player is Aaron Rodgers, which this season isn't very good, let's be honest. I think that this is probably Aaron Rodgers' last season, as I think it is Brady's. I think that he probably should have called it quits last year, but he didn't. Came back for one more season to, you know, this. I think that Devonte Adams maybe could have helped this team, but at this point, there's no guarantees he could even help this team.
Yeah, yeah, that's an interesting. I mean, Devonte Adams isn't doing great in Las Vegas. Rodgers isn't doing great without him. I bet they wish they didn't break up that duo because neither of them are benefiting right now from it.
Hmm.
Uh, John, your take on Aaron Rodgers moving forward?
I kind of wonder if all the drama, all the uncertainties with him, it really does feel like Aaron Rodgers is a little bit checked out. He doesn't seem to have that same fire that we're used to seeing him have, and of course the Packers themselves aren't the team that we're used to seeing. I mean, they have a star left tackle who's been just in and out of the lineup, can't stay healthy. The receiving core hasn't been great. Even their running game, I mean, Aaron Jones is a good back, hasn't been really running the ball well. He's been making the name in the passing game, but I mean, you still need the guy to run the ball. The defense, which is supposed to be better than it is, hasn't played well. They have one of the best corners, but I mean, he it seems like the whole team is struggling. You lost to the Washington football team, who is starting Heineke, who is an XFL quarterback. I'm noticing a theme here. XFL has superstars apparently.
It's the kryptonite.
apparently, I just I was shocked. I just, you what is going on? Just, you know what, guys? If you're a quarterback, don't wear number 12.
Yeah, I think I don't know. Maybe we're seeing a difference here in the those types of quarterbacks with Rodgers and Brady have run the league for a while. Maybe we're seeing a paradigm shift in how offenses are run, how defenses are starting to prep for stuff like that. I don't know, but it's not going well for those two right now.
I noticed that you said the word run, and I think we have seen a huge trend into running quarterbacks.
Hmm.
Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, Tua
Mahomes,
Tagovailoa
yeah.
can run around. Mahomes, I mean Russell Wilson is an older guy, not exactly lighting the league up, but these are all guys that can move. The quarterbacks that you're seeing really struggle, your Matt Ryans, your Brady's, your Rodgers, your Mac Jones, your drop back passers, and the defenses have kind of adjusted this year. They're really kind of playing too deep look. They're making sure that guys aren't getting behind them, giving up the big play, and it's slowed down a lot of players.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Um, I mean, maybe we'll see. I think it's slowly been moving that direction. I think Mahomes kind of maybe ushered in some of it. I know there's been running backs forever, um, running quarterbacks forever, but I don't know. I think we are starting to see a little bit of a shift maybe in that, and it's almost. I think that's kind of what I see when I look at the Bucks and the Packers, just not keeping up with the times. In terms of what offenses are doing and some of the innovations there. Um,
This
but
is true.
yeah,
If this is true, why is Kirk Cousins 5-1 right now?
because Minnesota Vikings are like in this limbo thing that no one really understands how they're either as bad as they are or as good as they are. They're just always just the Vikings.
Called an outlier, my friend.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take that. I'll take that.
Uh,
You notice I
speaking,
listed a bunch of quarterbacks, and one I didn't mention was Jalen Hurts, right? You,
Oh,
you
I know.
noticed that I
Oh, I
mentioned.
know.
Okay.
I got it. I noted it.
uh,
I mean, a zero quarterback rating this week. I wasn't going to talk about that guy.
That's fine.
so terrible.
It's fine. Don't talk about greatness. It's all good.
Um, I just talking about outliers. We still have the Giants and the Jets on winning streaks. I I don't understand. They continue to defy the odds. I think um, the Giants have been like underdogs 5 or 6 weeks in a row, and they just keep winning every game. I think that's the longest streak or longest amount of games that a team has been underdog and won. And I just don't get it. That was a good game, by the way. Giants and Jags was not. I mean, I've been on the Jags for a little bit, but they've been up and down this season, and it was a decent game. Giants though, they're hard to stop. Um, they had a couple. DJ had a couple throws there for, one to Slayton. I think uh, early in the half, and I don't know. He has led 5 game-winning drives in the last 7 games. John, are they going to keep winning? I know you said last time they have to go 15-2. Have you changed your mind?
I have absolutely not changed my mind. This is still a team that is not good, that is just barely winning games. They play sound defense, they're well coached, and they're winning games because of it, but they're not talented enough to continue winning. This will be a playoff team. I go ahead, mark it in the book. This is a playoff team, but they are not a Super Bowl contender. And if they manage to go 15-2, then I'll believe them. I and the Jets. Can we talk about the Jets for a second,
Go
or
ahead.
do you want to hold? Okay, the Jets have lost to Lamar Jackson. They beat Jacoby Brissett. They lost to Joe Burrow. They beat Mitchell Trubisky. They beat Ryan. They beat Thompson, Miami's rookie quarterback. Then they beat Aaron Rodgers. That one's a pretty big one, right? And then who started? Was it Trevor Simeon who started against the Broncos? They haven't beaten anybody except the Packers that we just talked about that are old, slow, and on their way out the door. Are we really going to sit there and praise the New York Jets, who just lost Brees Hall, their best player?
I don't know, man. I think I do agree with you on the. I think the Giants are a little more stable of a team. I think the Jets are kind of the ones that are you can. They aren't supposed to be here. Somehow they are, and now that they've lost, kind of the guy that's been driving them, it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be a morale. Morale's going to be down. They've like you said they've been hanging on. They've been the Browns game they had like this crazy fourth quarter heroics and came back. Like you said, they haven't necessarily beaten a true tried and tested team yet. So I think it is a matter of time maybe for the Jets. Giants though, I don't know. I see them maybe continuing on for a little bit. Um, Gannon, you're a little closer to some of these teams. What are your thoughts on both of them heading into next week?
All right. So I had no idea that they were barely winning games until you just said that, and they are literally barely winning games. I think that you were absolutely right. I they might be a playoff team, but it's only a matter of time before their luck catches up with them and they are again the New York Giants. I think the Jets, I mean, they might win. I mean, they have Pats, Bills, and Pats. So nothing crushes morale than three straight losses. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
know.
Now, to be fair, the last time you said that the Jets may not win another game, they've now rattled off two.
Mm-hmm.
I think I did this. I did
Okay.
this.
Also, I want to point out the Giants. I said that they're a playoff team. I want to say that they are a playoff team like the Eagles were a playoff team last year. They'll make it.
Fair.
They're just not a good team.
Fair. I think they end third in the division,
Yeah.
but
I mean,
hey,
they're ahead of the Cowboys right now in the division.
not for long.
Hmm. So I guess heading into a little teaser for next week. And we talked about this a little bit before the podcast started. It's the only game with two teams that have winning records this week. It's kind of I don't know my game of the week to watch. It might end up being a great game, but it's the Giants against the Seahawks. Giants will be at Seahawks. Seahawks have been surprisingly good. I don't know. Do we think the Seahawks pull out the win to kind of at this point? I think the Seahawks are still favored. Giants have been underdogs every week, but I don't know. I kind of think Giants are favored headed into this. Do we think they'll pull out a win against the Seattle team that keeps somehow winning games? They have a winning record.
You know, I want to talk about Seattle and their head coach for a second because I've always thought their head coach isn't that good. But Russell Wilson looked really good when he was with their coach.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson doesn't look so good without their coach.
You
And,
wondered why they so easily gave him up. I think they kind of knew. Yeah.
and Geno Smith wasn't exactly a good quarterback. And then Geno Smith gets to Seattle and is kind of good.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a theme that is that a thing? Do we think that that's a thing?
Can we get him in Tampa? Maybe that's what we need.
This game, Giants Seahawks. Seahawks are favored by 3 points, and I don't know. Flip a coin. I typically I feel very. I didn't think either one of these teams were going to be very good. I believe I said that these are some of the worst teams in the league when we were going the previews. They're still not one. Like I still don't look at these teams and go powerhouses. Yeah, so what? Seattle's number one in their division currently, and so what? The Giants are number two in their division only because the other team hasn't lost yet. But do we really think these are powerhouses? To me, I'd still rather watch the 49ers Rams game, or I'm kind of interested in that Jets Patriots game a little bit. How good are
Hmm.
the Jets? We just saw the Patriots get destroyed by the Bears, but Giants and Seahawks have winning records. And a win is a win is a win, and it's hard to do in the NFL.
Dude, and so last week, I think it was a couple weeks ago, Penny went down with an injury. Kenneth Walker comes in this week. He's been playing for a couple weeks. He's been off and on. Rookie season, though. And he destroys it. I think it was like 170 yards and two touchdowns. I I don't know. I mean, from what I've been seeing, reading, and what I saw this week, I mean, he seems to be a breakout candidate. Someone that everyone's going to keep their eyes on. But do you guys foresee him doing the same thing to the Giants?
Ugh, I don't know. I don't think the Giants. I don't think the Giants win against the Seahawks. That's just my prediction. I mean, I'm gonna say that because I don't really like the Giants. But and Geno Smith's been good. I don't know. And can anybody tell me if DK Metcalf is back? Because last I heard he was hurt.
I think he has
Um,
a. Didn't he pull his hamstring?
I thought so.
I don't know. Good question.
But regardless, I still think that Seattle pulls the win out of here. I mean, you said, they're barely winning. I think that they're going to Seattle. I think they'll get another L. Hopefully, I'm praying.
It does say here Metcalf still sore, but hoping to play versus Giants.
Okay,
Good. The
so
headline
they
I
have.
read was won't need knee surgery.
Oh, great. Well, I hope he plays. That'll increase the odds.
Yeah, I mean, so for comparison, Seahawks played the Chargers last week and they won 37-23. They're playing some good teams. Chargers are a little beat up and they've had their woes this season, but that's still a decent team for the Seahawks to be beating. All right. Well, we can jump into some other, it is newsworthy events. Some on the field, some off the field. But we have a couple of quarterbacks this week that got benched, and they're going to be either they're already replaced or they're going to be replaced sent into the next game. So how did you guys feel last night? Mac Jones named the starter for the Patriots. I don't even think he made it to halftime. Wasn't it like in the second quarter? Yeah, third
Three,
quarter
three.
gets benched.
Oh, well, three drives.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I thought it was still in the first half. In the first half, he just benched and Zappy comes on. I, John, do you want to take this one first? What are your thoughts on starting someone and benching them before you even get to halftime?
When the saying goes, when you have two quarterbacks, you don't have a quarterback. And the Patriots went in the season without a quarterback because Mac Jones is horrible, awful, terrible, trash. And Bill Zappy, whatever his name, Zappy. He
Bailey.
isn't a That's it, Bailey Zappi. He came in. I knew he started with the B. That's close. He came in and he lit it up. It looked good, and then he faltered. But he did well his first two games. That offense looks better with Zappi. Mac Jones it looks just bad. He doesn't look good at all. And I really hope that New England continues to struggle. I mean, they got absolutely destroyed by the Bears, and it's great. It's great. It's great. Did I mention it's great?
I think you feel the same way as I do when the Seahawks beat the Giants. I'm just saying. I know we're going back. We're not going back to it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't know. I I'm just not a fan of like you're giving a guy a chance, give him a chance. Make a decision. I guess that's kind of your point too, John, is just make a decision. I get they're both decent quarterbacks, and you're trying to give maybe Zappy some time in the lead and figure things out. But you can't, in my opinion, you can't go back to Mac Jones at this point. You have chosen Zappy with that game, so now he's your quarterback moving forward. Um, I don't know, Gannon.
It,
Any other thoughts on that change?
I mean, he's had 3 games so far and killed it all 3 games. I don't know how you go back to Mac Jones.
Mm.
I mean, they just looked better with him than without him. QB2, Mac Jones.
They still didn't look good with him.
I
They
mean,
had some good plays, but they.
did I say good? I meant better. I meant better than they were, right?
the thing is you still drafted Mac Jones in the top 15. He's still the quarterback that you made the playoffs with last year. I don't think they're ready to give up on that, but that offense looks very stale with him. And you can see that he doesn't have the measurabilities that some of those other measurabilities, whatever. I like that word. Measurables that some of the other guys have. His arm is definitely not very strong. He's not super mobile, and it's rough. Zappy, while he's got some inaccuracies, he doesn't mind throwing it deep. I mean, you saw that play to Devontae Parker. Um, it, it just that offense just had more life with that guy, and the people love to say that the favorite player on every team is the backup quarterback, and every once in a while the backup quarterback's actually better than the starter. I don't believe that's the case, but I don't think either guy is the guy right now. Zappy could be. He's got some tools. But Mac Jones just looks like a guy. And I said that last year. And remember, the NFL Network had him as a top 100 player in the NFL.
Imagine getting replaced by a guy named Zappy.
Some people are calling him Bailey Crappy.
Ooh.
Well, I guess time will tell. I think I don't know. It'd be an interesting game this week. Division rivals with the Jets. Trying to see what that game looks like. You would think the Patriots would come out and maybe not destroy the Jets with the way the Jets have been playing, but it normally would be a win for the Patriots coming into that game. So I think that's what they're expecting. So yeah, I guess we'll see moving forward how the Patriots adjust to this. The other big kind of news, and this happened after the game, I believe, um, but Matt Ryan will not be the quarterback for the Colts moving forward. They made that was their guy. They made a choice in the offseason to go get him, bring him in, and have him as their starter. We're not even halfway through the season. They've already decided he's not the guy for them. This is the sixth quarterback since like when was Luck? 2019, I think he retired. So there's a sixth quarterback in like 3 seasons. Um, Sam Ellinger will be the quarterback moving forward. I think it's his second year in the league. Um, I don't know much about him. I don't know what to expect from that team, but um, I don't know. That's one team that needs to get their stuff together. I think they were expecting a little bit more heading into the season. Clearly, benching Matt Ryan. But Gannon, what are your thoughts on these coaches brought him in, and then now they're already deciding this isn't the guy for them?
I think this team is cursed with starting a quarterback. In all honesty, they probably should have benched him sooner, in my opinion. I mean, it's week 8. I when do you say, hey, this offense ain't clicking with you, right? It's obviously wasn't. I think they should have benched him sooner, like I said. Hopefully they do better with Who was it? I forget.
Uh,
Whatever his name is.
Ellinger.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, time will tell.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. John, any thoughts on the Colts moving on there?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Colts fans. I kind of doomed Matt Ryan this week. You see, I have a fantasy football curse with quarterbacks. I drafted Dak Prescott, who got injured week one. I followed that up by picking up Baker Mayfield, who is hurt. I picked up Marcus Mariota. He has managed to not get hurt, but he had wasn't good for me. I picked up Teddy Bridgewater. I started Bridgewater. He got hurt on the first play. I picked Kenny Pickett up, started Kenny Pickett. He got concussed mid-game. And then I picked up Matt Ryan as my backup quarterback this week, and immediately he gets benched. So I'm part. That is my responsibility. I am very sorry for that. Anybody wondering what I am doing at quarterback? I don't know yet. I've been fooling around with the trade. Um, that hasn't come through yet. So just kind of, I apologize. That's my fault. That's all I got to
Maybe
say.
we can do some reverse juju, and I think Gannon, don't you own Tom Brady? You need to just give him, and maybe we can like somehow get the Bucks out of whatever is going on here.
I think he's in the Colts front office here because look, he's gone through so many quarterbacks. It isn't even funny. He's just going to go down the line at this point because he can't keep one.
Yeah, who did the
Uh,
Dolphins play? I will trade everybody for that guy, for the that quarterback.
You'd
uh,
be better off with Hurts. Just saying.
I don't think you want Goff. They're playing the Lions.
That's true.
Yeah,
I'd go
no,
with
no, you're right.
Uh, all
He's
right.
awful.
Any anything from this last week that you guys picked up on that we haven't talked about? I'm gonna move on to some of the games upcoming, but give you guys a chance here.
Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
That was a big news story. Went to the 49ers, and the 49ers played him all of four times. I don't know how you give a guy what's 19.5 million for the next 3 years and like a crap ton of picks. It to only play him
To
four times
yeah, I was
New
gonna
against.
say
system.
to be fair, he can't. I think the trade happened on Thursday, and then he
Ah,
flew in like Friday night and had like a little bit of time Friday and Saturday. So he's
I mean, okay,
he's brand
okay,
new, man. He's brand new.
okay, all right. I don't know.
I
I
want to
mean, I
see
get
him
it.
destroy the Rams this weekend though. 49ers are playing the
Okay,
Rams. I want to see him run all over them.
okay. Do we as a collective think that the 49ers are better with Christian McCaffrey overall?
I'd rather ship a fifth round pick for James Robinson than a second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, and tenth pick for McCaffrey.
So I know some 49er fans and they say whatever wins us the Super Bowl, but at what cost? You got this guy that, last 2 years was banged up. Now he's coming into this year and you're gonna play him, right? You're gonna probably put him in your scheme and run him a lot. I'm scared for him.
I don't
I'm
think
scared.
they can't keep up with like we saw this week. They played the Chiefs, which is like a great. I get it right. McCaffrey's not fully into the offense, but they can't keep up with the amount of points that like the Bills and the Chiefs can score. I don't think I don't think the 49ers can put up 40, 50 points a game. And they're not going to keep the Chiefs from scoring. So I don't think they're a Super Bowl contender. Are they a good team and will they get far in the playoffs? Maybe, but they won't win the Super Bowl.
Do we really trust Jimmy G?
Always.
We trust
So
Trey Lance, though. That's the thing. I don't know. It's not sold.
and talking, I don't know if you were going to talk about the Dolphins at all, Tom. But I'd like to just short, quick game with
What a
Miami.
surprise that we're just transitioning straight into the Dolphins.
Well, you said if there's anything you're talking about going into games next week, and I was like, we want to just talk quick.
Go ahead.
Miami looked really good, 3 drives. Kenny Pickett, 3 picks. Yes, the defense can. Miami got the win. A win is a win, a win. It's hard to do in the NFL. All right, that's it. Move on. Pittsburgh stinks.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I You barely won that game against Pittsburgh.
Barely won
There
that
was
game.
they had a drive down to the red zone or close to the red zone, and then they threw a pick. And then they had a game-winning drive down to the red zone and threw another pick. All the while, Miami couldn't get anything going and weren't scoring points the entire second half.
But
So
what was important on that? They threw a pick. So a win is a win is a win. It's hard to do in the NFL. And if I'm not mistaken, the Eagles, Bucks, and Dolphins, one of those teams got a win.
Yeah. Well, the difference here, I know we're not transitioning yet, but listen, Bucks crap the bed against the Pittsburgh.
let's move on. Move
Okay,
on,
okay, hold on.
please.
Okay, all
Talk
right.
about your
I'm sorry.
Eagles.
I'm sorry. Dolphins, they barely won. Eagles are going to absolutely destroy Pittsburgh. And I hope you guys are watching while they do it. I hope you guys are watching.
There we go. It's Pittsburgh by 10. Got it.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
I hope you guys are watching. That's all I gotta say. Eagles
well,
will show you how it's done.
I guess as we're moving into next week, we'll stay on the Eagles in Pittsburgh.
I didn't want to transition, but that's fine. We can.
We're already there. We're already there.
We're already
What
there.
I mean, they beat Buccaneers. They had good moments against the Dolphins. Couldn't quite pull out the win there. Are you scared at all for the Pittsburgh team, Gannon?
I'm scared for their team. Yeah. I think that they're gonna need some help. And it ain't there. I mean, Eagles are coming off a bye week and it's a home game. Dude, I would be scared to be the Pittsburgh Steelers with this offense.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, I can't disagree. I think Pittsburgh, the Dolphins are coming back from getting some pieces together. There was times where Pittsburgh couldn't stop the Dolphins marching down the field. Um, they clearly, you know, Buccaneers weren't a problem for them. Which again, we've gone over the woes of the Buccaneers. I think it's more on our side than it is on theirs. But I don't know. I think the Eagles should have no problem.
We're probably gonna slap Steelers as just like the Jets slapped the Dolphins. That's all I'm saying.
It's going to be a close game until like 2 minutes left in the fourth
No,
quarter.
no, no, no. It's gonna be a 40-point game.
Mm,
That's what it is. I don't know.
all right, I'll
0.
jump in a little bit. Um, I don't really want to talk too much about this. I think this is going to be a very bad game for the Bucks unless we somehow turn it around from last week. Because I think the Ravens are due for a really good game. They've been very close games for the last couple weeks. They've lost some really tough ones this year. I think Ravens are they're ready for like a breakout week to kind of get them right again. The Bucks are in the opposite direction. They're struggling. They can't get things together. That we've had our couple weeks against teams that we should have been getting our S together and we haven't. And now we're playing the Ravens, and I mean, I'm hoping we do. I'm hoping we come back and we bounce back. But the way it's trending, I just don't see this. It's not going to be a pretty game. Yeah, I don't even want to predict what the final score's going to look like.
Fun stat, Lamar Jackson has more rushing yards than the entire Bucks team.
Not surprised. All right, Dolphins and Lions. Lions, I don't know. We talked about them having a pretty decent offense. They've been scoring a lot of points up until the last couple weeks. And then I think the last like 2 weeks, I don't even know if they've shown up to the games. What do you foresee this week for Dolphins Lions, John?
Same exact thing that the Lions have experienced the last 2 weeks. They're going to experience one of the most dominant teams in the NFL. Xavier Howard is going to absolutely shut down Jared Goffel. The pass rush is going to have probably 23 and a half sacks. No, on a serious note, Miami secondary is pretty weak. The Lions should score some points. Tua hopefully will be much more accurate than he was last week. I expect an offense to score some points with Miami's offense score some points. I'm not too concerned about this game. I don't expect it to be a blowout, but I do expect a pretty good win for Miami.
Yep, can't disagree. I think Dolphins are looking to get back into, I think they started 3-0, then went 3-3, and now they're starting to win a little bit more. So, or 0-3, not well. I guess either way works. Um, but yeah, I think they're trying to get back into the swing of things. And Detroit's a good team. Pittsburgh and then Detroit's a good teams to get you going there. So,
Tua is 4-0 when he starts and finishes a game this year.
and don't
Like I
forget
said
the.
last
Go ahead, Dan.
like I said last week, I'll say it again this week. Dolphins are undefeated if Tua plays the entire season.
And I think Goff has an O in his name, so it's like guaranteed.
True.
Yeah.
True. Is that still
Kenny
running? Wait, is that
Kenny
still
Pocket, Kenny Pocket. So
uh
All right. Um, yeah, that's all that I had kind of laid out for today. Um, I'll give you guys some last words here. Anything else you guys want to shout out or talk about before we round out here, Janon? I'll throw it to you first.
well, it was the NFC least and now it's the NFC beast. I hope that everybody is paying attention and learning that, you know, sometimes you start here, but then you end here.
I would not want to be in that division right now. So, John.
Yeah, I'm sweating.
according to Juju Smith-Schuster, the Arizona Cardinals are undefeated. And the reason why I say that is he said the difference between the Kansas City Chiefs last week was Call of Duty. Kyler Murray, play Call of Duty. Build your teammates up. You got this. Undefeated Arizona Cardinals.
Yep, get 3 straight wins in Warzone. You'll turn your season around.
That return of Hopkins, man. It could be an interesting team heading forward. But all right, guys. Well, appreciate everyone tuning in. Again, we're live every Tuesday, and you can catch us on YouTube if you aren't able to get us live on Twitch. So we'll post there as well. Feel free to send us comments about your thoughts. If we're right, if we're wrong, way off base, let's have a discussion. Appreciate everyone tuning in, and we will see you guys next week.